just found out the digital ID bill is still being debated because apparently there was an unanswered question, and they're trying to basically get it through with an unanswered question. I'll just have a look in a minute and I'll be able to tell you who put the question forward and who has not answered. And well, they all haven't answered it. The government hasn't answered it basically. Let me find it. Looking. Had some messages today. Hang on. Righty-ho, it appears that according to Craig Kelly, it doesn't say who put the question forward. I'm sure I read it somewhere. I've had a feeling it was Rennick, maybe, who I think possibly put it forward. Can't be 100% sure with that. This is going to be interesting, guys. I've got like 15 things to carry by myself up on the lawn here, but I don't need other people to be with me to protest against something I believe in. The digital ID bill is one of those things I believe in strongly. Quite happy to be here by myself and sort this out. Thanks to the world of zip ties, I might be able to do something pretty tricky and get this going. Right, that's sorted out. One of the things I've got to hold, and there goes the other thing. Righty-ho. Oh, hang on. No good without microphones, guys. No good having a PA if you haven't got the microphones. Look at that, even found my beanie that I was missing this morning. It was in with the microphones. Right, let's go and have a chat to some people who are supposedly supposed to be standing for us. See if the boys in blue come and give us a talking to. Just one of us here, they might. When they don't have the numbers, they just generally leave us alone. For those of you that don't know, there's actually an invisible line around Parliament building called the AAA, Authorised Assembly Area. If you try to protest within inside the AAA Assembly Area, they have powers to try and stop you, certain powers to try and stop you. But if you're outside the authorised assembly area, We're outside their authorised assembly area. They have very little power. It's funny, but for those of you that don't know, the person that has the most power, or gives them the power inside the authorised assembly area, is called the Usher of the Black Rod. Interesting name, isn't it? So we've only got the old PA system here today. The big girl's away getting charged. Oops, missed with the zip tie. Hopefully the wind doesn't knock over the PA system. We've got the flag mounted to it at the moment, which generally ends bad. Why am I doing it, you say? Because that's what we do. Things are generally bad. Ask the government, I'll tell you how bad we are. We have the green light, which is always good.
Check.
Oh, hello peeps. Who we got on? Didn't bring my glasses, typical. Always the way, isn't it? Let's have a look what we got here. We got Chris McGrath, we got Smithy, we got, oops, faded away. Hill Summit, Chris again, Hill Summit again, Nobby, hey Nobby. What was this? Interpretation of digital currency, yeah. Hey Chris. They'll try and bully you, yeah, they probably will. Taxi ride, hey. How you going, guys? Just let these guys here have their day and then we'll... Hey guys. Good, good. I'll wait a little bit before you move off and then I'll give them shit. Digital ID bill today. Is that Fred?
Yeah, he's distracted.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's funny. He's a funny dog.
Yeah, they've definitely got personalities, haven't they?
Oh, he has, yeah. Labrador on crack. Oh, yeah. Well, that's like a nice photo. Oh, wait, there you go. We won't be long, we'll go anyway.
No, it's all good, man.
Right.
I'm just here over the digital ID bill.
Oh, I heard that you were saying, yeah. Oh. Who knows these days it goes on.
Well, it's got an unanswered question in Parliament, but they're trying to push it through anyway.
Yeah. That's unusual, is it?
They're good at these sorts of things.
Oh, yeah.
Check. Check. 1, 2, 2. Good morning, afternoon, Parliament building! Supposedly full of the people that are supposed to work for this country, and there's people of this country. Today is the final stage of the digital ID bill. And that bill has an unanswered question in Parliament. They rushed it through the lower house like a guillotine. Off with the head. And now, for 3 days, it's been talked about in Parliament. And it continues to have the same unanswered question. And they're still trying to push it through Parliament with an unanswered question. Now, because it's inside Parliament, we don't know what the question is. Just one of the senators let slip that it has a pending question that they wish not to answer. I could think of several questions that it probably haven't answered. And you're saying, oh, it's only a digital ID. What difference does it make? Well, when that digital ID is connected to everything you do and say on Facebook, etc., etc. Imagine if you went to the doctors today and you found out you had high cholesterol. And that evening, the doctor inputs all your data on your digital ID and it gets uploaded because you need it for your Medicare or whatever. And then that evening, you go, I'm going to ring Domino's for a pizza. So you ring up Domino's, you put your order in, you feel like a couple of pizzas and maybe a garlic bread. And then they go, okay, what's your credit card number? And you quote your credit card number over the phone. And they go, oh, sorry, sir, but that won't go through. And you go, why won't it go through? And you look it up and it says, oh no, your doctor said you had high cholesterol today. You can't have pizzas because you need to lower your cholesterol. So we're going to control your digital money through your digital ID by your doctor's report. And you say, oh, that won't happen. Really? Well, here's another example. You go to Woolworths or Coles and you get all your groceries and you get to the counter and you go, scanning it, beep, beep. Then you scan your bacon and it won't scan. Why won't my bacon scan? You call over the attendant. The attendant goes, oh, sorry, sir. You have high cholesterol. You can't have bacon. Bow. And you go, well, you go, I don't care about, bacon and eggs or pizzas. I don't eat them. Okay, so you're into vintage cars or motorcycles. And you take your vintage car or motorcycle to the service station and you put fuel in it and you go to pay for it with your card. Beep, beep, comes up. Oh, sorry, your car doesn't comply with pollution laws, sir. You can't buy fuel for that car. You can't drive that car on the road more than once a week or more than so many Ks because your carbon footprint is too big. And you say, oh, that won't happen. Really? Get on your Commonwealth Bank app and have a look there. It actually has your carbon footprint on the Commonwealth Bank app. How would they know your carbon footprint unless they're actually tracking you already? And if you have a digital ID, it won't be long before they will connect the two together. And you'll be tracked. And they'll be able to tell what you're doing. They'll be able to tell that you're driving a car which doesn't comply with pollution laws, the latest pollution laws. And you say, no, how would they know that? Well, they already do know those things. Because your car, your latest model car, has a Bluetooth in it. And your Bluetooth has an IP address. And you can go to your insurance company today and say, I want to register my Bluetooth on my car with my insurance and get cheaper insurance. They tell you it's cheaper. You go, it will be. And you go, okay. And you register your car. Now, every time you put up a set of traffic lights, the Bluetooth IP address of your car is registered with those traffic lights, which is then sent to the insurance company, and you get charged by the fact that you don't drive around in a high-risk area or that you don't do many Ks. And just like green slips in New South Wales, they said it'd go down, and it did. And then it went up, and up, and up. Oh, but we have a body to control those things, you say. Yeah, we did for the green slips too. We still have one, and they're still going up. And up, and up. And then people like myself might come and like to voice our concerns with what our parliament is doing. And one of the boys in blue in here will come over and say, show us your digital ID. And they'll scan it and they'll go, oh, you're a naughty boy. It says here that your digital ID here says that you don't conform. You're out of your 5K, 12K, 60K radius. The digital ID will be the end of your freedom. It won't be long they'll connect digital money to it. Macquarie Bank in 5 days' time is going to go cashless. A bank with no cash. A bank that only trades in ones and zeros. How long before that digital money is connected to your digital ID? How long before they tell you during some pandemic lockdown that they're going to stop you going 5Ks and your digital ID will be connected to your car, connected to the lights, connected to your home address, and you'll just either receive a bill in the mail or your car will shut down, etc. You have a look at the digital ID bill. It says in there that they want Australia to be the leaders in digital ID in the world. They're going to give you a $288 million bill for them to develop it for the world. Here in Canberra, they already have community points system. Whereas if you do something to help the community, you get extra points. If you do something that goes against the community's interest, you get points deducted. And that might be just something like saying or voicing your political concern. And if you lose too many points, then you get kicked off the point system. Or you get banned from saying things on the on the forum. This is another form of digital ID, digital control. The disinformation board of 8 who decide what you can and cannot see was just taken to court by Elon Musk, and they lost. Australian taxpayers paid out hundreds of thousands of dollars to fight Elon Musk against what he thought was okay because he didn't want censorship. It's another step. Digital ID, digital money, censorship. There's a website for you to investigate. Namdakadala Australialis. Type it into Google or Yahoo or DuckDuckGo or something like that, and you will get nothing because it is censored from the Australian people. Why is it censored? I can tell you why. It's 200 original people nations of this country joining together, declaring demilitarised zone, in other words, no guns on police, and also their right to self-govern. Now, the government doesn't want you to know that.
Is that a rainbow? Is that a Canberra rainbow?
It's a Canberra rainbow. we got plenty of them today.
Oh, fuck,
The white Canberra rainbows. I've been here and seen 52 in 1 hour. Don't look up, by the way. There's a stripe there and a stripe there and a stripe. That's normal. Did you know that as of 3 years ago, we discovered 12 new clouds? So people have been on this planet for tens of thousands of years, but we only discovered 12 new clouds in the last 3 years. That's interesting. Back to the digital ID. What's the question unanswered? Senators? Why is it remaining unanswered? What is the answer that you don't want the people to hear? If you don't speak it, it doesn't have to be answered, does it? That's right. Digital ID, the end of your freedom. And you say, oh, digital currency, you don't need cash. Okay. How many of you have seen a tips jar? How the hell do you stick digital currency in a tips jar? When you're driving through farming areas and you see fruit stalls on the side of the road, how do you put money in a little box When it's only digital, what, you just cram half your phone in there? Digital ID is the end of freedom. They're already pushing it for medical purposes. They're saying that you're going to have digital ID to rent. How many of you own your own home? How many of those children will have to rent, that are walking up there now, will have to rent before they become owners? They will need a digital ID to rent. Why? Well, how else are they going to keep an eye on what you're doing? The digital ID bill needs all questions answered. They've got to stop rushing it through. If they want a digital ID, we actually turned it down already, by the way. I think it was 1988, the referendum on the Australia card. That was a form of digital ID, and the referendum was turned down. Why are we not having a referendum on digital ID today? Because they know it will get turned down. The Australian people don't want it. The Parliament, the senators are not listening to the Australian people. It is time the Parliament listen to the people. It is time that parliamentarians do as the people wish. Not as what makes their pockets fat, not as what gets them the next job after they leave their building. Did you know that your parliamentarian will get his pension the very day he leaves that building? And he can go and get another job and continually collect the pension while he is working before he has reached pension age. Can you do that? No, you can't. Can you work and collect the pension? No, you can't. Not if you earn the amount of monies that they earn. Again, the Parliament and most of the senators are not doing what the people wish. They are feathering their own pockets. The digital ID bill has a question that needs to be answered. Do not push it through without answering that question and all the rest. In fact, it should go to referendum. You wasted millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on a referendum about a voice. Well, you don't need a voice, you need to get some ears. How about a referendum on some ears, where Parliament listens to people instead of telling the people what they want? Let's take that hundreds of millions of dollars and use it on a referendum where the people will actually vote for something that they may or may not want, digital ID. The voice was only going to take more rights away from Aboriginal people and give it to a very select few Aboriginal people on a board. And how was that board going to be voted in? Oh, we don't know. They didn't know how they were going to vote those people in. How much power would it have? Oh, we don't know that either. Well, there's a question on the digital ID we don't know the answer to. We want the answer. We want a referendum at a bare minimum. Just like the Australia card, which was digital ID, we want a referendum. We turned it down once. We'll turn it down again. I can guarantee it. That's why you're not getting it. Parliament doesn't need a voice, it needs ears. Listen to the Australian people. Listen to what the people want. People can't afford housing. People can't afford the rent. People can't afford food. Homelessness is through the roof. My hometown of Brisbane, everywhere I drive, there's people living in tents and parks. There's people living in cars down by the water's edge. There's whole families living in cars. And they go to the Department of Housing and say, we need emergency housing. They say, we have none. Do you have a car? Yes, you have to live in that. And yet the government want to spend $288 million on a digital ID when they can't even give people a house. How about you build some housing, government? How about you get some ears and listen to the people? It's time that the senators worked for the people. There's a reason why the grass goes right over this building. Before they didn't put fences to stop the people going up there, it was to remind politicians that the people are on top of them. The people are over them. They work under the people. What's the question you don't want to answer, Parliament? Senators, what's the question you don't want to answer? You will never tell the people, will you? Digital ID has to go to referendum at a minimum. Stop guillotining things through lower house and upper house. You say, why do I use the word guillotine? Off with your head. It'll be the last time you have freedom. When you need a digital ID, they're just running out digital IDs for medical certificates to work in the mines. Oh, you have to have it, otherwise you can't work there. Why? I could last year. Oh, you can't this year. You have to have a digital ID to rent a building, rent a house. Why? Because we said. Why? The more digital we go, the more paperwork we create, the more trees we cut down, and the more office buildings they can have here. What does Canberra actually create? Nothing. Paperwork. More and more paperwork. This whole town creates nothing. And you say, oh, yeah, we have concreters and plumbers and electricians. Yeah, they're only here to service the people who create nothing. Nothing but consume money. $100 million a day goes to the original people. I bet not one of you has actually been out to a mission. They don't get the money, I can tell you that. The housing out there is second or third world rated. The conditions are second or third world rated. The quality of food that they can buy in the shop is third world rated. They don't have dialysis machines out there. They don't even get hospitals. Because it is all consumed by the paperwork of this town, because this town creates nothing but paperwork. Nothing the Australian people need or require. It is time that Parliament got some ears. It is time the senators started to listen. The Australian people have had enough. It is not okay to guillotine these bills through without answering questions. If a senator puts a question forward, then answer it. We have been here for 29 days. Sorry, 829 days. And we will continue to remind the people in that building they work for us. We the people run this country, not Mr. Albanese. We heard you secretly saying behind this, right there, behind the protest, I run this country. No, Albanese, the people run this country. You are possibly the worst Prime Minister we have ever had. You got up on a protest with young women and then lied. And then the following day you came out and said, oh, you know, their hormones were high. Are you serious? How out of touch are you with the people, Albanese? You probably couldn't even tell me what the cost of a loaf of bread is or 2 litres of milk. Never alone what an average person has to pay in rent. It is time for Parliament to get some ears. Time for Parliament to do as the people wish. Parliamentarians have the life way too easy. They get too much money and cushy jobs afterwards. And their access to their pension straight away.
Need a drink of water, guys. Subjects of England. England has been a nation since 927. It was captured by the British in 1706. In short, England is the last significant colony and we demand freedom from British. Exactly. Yeah, that's debatable. He might not be worse than Edward. Good point. Sorry, Nobby. Elbow who? Yeah. Elbow Kneesy. Exactly. He will go down in history as being the worst, I reckon. Well, stupid, maybe the stupidest. The government is exposing themselves. Yeah, I could probably agree with that. They probably are exposing themselves. And their actions. Australians wake up. Yeah, I know. Absolutely, Chris. Politicians only have be a politician for 10 years and then they can access their super. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous, right? And then they go on to high paying jobs. Hi, Rosie. Remember, we can't hide, we can only confuse. Yeah. Hi, Rosalie. Check out HSS, thanks. Well, guys, I've got places to go and people to see. Have my little rant. I know that people think it's pointless, but if we don't come up here and say something, then what are we going to do, right? Of the earth, laugh out loud, yeah. Ginger and lemon. Ginger and lemon and orange marmalade on crumpets for breakfast. Nice. No worries, Ben. Catch you later, eh? See you guys.